Republic that reflects our values, that preserves our rights, and goes forth in power and might.
Good evening and welcome to Your Right to Know by the Central Massachusetts Conservative PAC. As you can see, a little new opening, a little new beginning for 2026. My name is Mary Lotz, and as usual, I am your host for this evening's show. I was actually watching the video myself because what we just saw was a video that was taken at the opening of Turning Point USA's America Fest event in December. And that took place in Phoenix, wasn't it? Phoenix, Arizona? And I didn't see it myself, so I had to look at the camera and check it out. So tonight, we're going to have Turning Point USA with us. We're going to have both the representatives and the students, which will be fun for me and fun for our viewers. So last year was our very first time we met Turning Point USA. We had my now best friend, Anthony St. Pierre, join us and talk all about Turning Point. He's back with, look, a whole group of friends he brought with him tonight. So I'm going to ask you all to introduce yourself, starting with Anthony.
Hi, I'm Anthony St. Pierre. I'm the Upstate Field Representative for the college program. It's my second year covering Upstate New York, Vermont, Western Massachusetts, and Northern Connecticut.
Sophia.
Hi, my name is Sophia. I'm a part of the University of Connecticut, and I'm the Vice President of Turning Point.
Matt.
Hi, my name is Matt Giuliano, and I am the High School Club America representative overseeing what we call the Plymouth Territory, and that consists of Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut.
Abby. Returning guest, Abby.
I am Abigail Trott, and I am the president of Club America Central Mass here in the Central Mass area.
Ben.
My name is Ben Bunton, and I'm the treasurer for our Central Mass Club America.
Isn't it wonderful to see so many young faces and happy people on our panel tonight? So we're going to go further and investigate Turning Point USA and talk about what Club America is and what it means for students. Anthony, but since you're a returning guest, you've been with Turning Point now for 2 years, and could you talk a little bit about the trajectory of what happened with Turning Point in your first year, and then we really have to mark the second year, not so much as a calendar year, but September 10th, 2025, at the death of Charlie Kirk, the founder of Turning Point. Yeah. What did it do?
Yeah, absolutely. So really in that first year, it's building our presence, especially in the upstate territory, getting the word out that Turning Point USA does exist and that we were building it on college chapters actually very effectively in that first year. So going into the second year, the goal was to keep building onto those chapters, make them self-sufficient, and grow the territory and the region itself. On September 10th, we had 64 to 69 total chapters in the Northeast. Since September 10th, we are now over 200 chapters. So we're continuing to build there. I can attest to upstate. We started the semester at 16 groups. We are now close to 40. So there is enthusiasm, and students are motivated to have their voices heard.
And I think when we saw the fireworks at the opening at America Fest, that really talked to the energy and the excitement of joining Turning Point. Sophia, as a college student, now, am I right? This is actually your second year in Turning Point.
Yes.
What made you join Turning Point as a sophomore in college? What made you join Turning Point to begin with?
Yeah, I really wanted to find a place where I could speak and have open dialogue. That was what was most important to me. Being in the classroom area, I felt like I couldn't always speak what I thought, and I felt very censored. So this was the one place where I could speak freely.
And do you find that that's true?
Yes, you could definitely speak freely in the Turning Point chapters. You can disagree with each other and agree to disagree, and we're still friends at the end of the day.
That sounds wonderful. Matt, you have a whole different sort of perspective because you deal with high school students, or in our case, homeschool high school equivalent. So could you talk about when did you come on Turning Point and what has your experience been?
Yeah, so I actually came on to Turning Point right in July, and I was on a plane 48 hours later to head to training. And the experience.
Where's training? Phoenix?
Phoenix,
Oh, wow.
Arizona.
That's
yes.
nice.
Yeah, no, it was a really cool opportunity, and I must say, you know, it's been phenomenal to really be on this side and see how energetic and passionate these students really are to get involved in the community, make an impact, and honestly just feel like they can be around individuals, whether it's like-minded or not, to have open civil dialogue. It's great to see.
We're kind of lacking that right away. We'll talk about some of that at the end of the show. So you came on right around September 10th, right?
No, I actually got hired in July.
In July, okay.
Yes.
So, but you have very little experience of what happened before. Like Anthony has a sort of a knowledge base about what happened previous. What has your experience been since September 10th?
Yeah, so when I first started, we only had 2 chapters in my area, okay? And we only had about 20 leads of people that wanted to open chapters. And unfortunately, you know, after the tragic incident on September 10th, we have seen a rocket fuel of people that really want to be involved, and we're almost at 30 chapters now, with 1,100 inquiries still to go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So it's been a very energetic explosion out here.
Abigail, you've been with us before. What made you want to look towards turning, or you're actually Club America, and I hope to not explain it wrong, but Club America is a subsidiary or a subdivision of Turning Point USA that works with high school students.
Correct.
So you're still part of Turning Point, but it's a high school sort of subdivision. What made you interested at such a young age? Most young women your age are far from thinking about politics and what's going on in the world. I mean, I certainly wasn't. I was going to marry Paul McCartney, so go figure. So what made you want to get involved with a conservative organization?
Well, I didn't start really paying attention to politics until Biden became president. I was in public school when Trump was first inaugurated, and those 4 years passed, and I didn't really think too much about anything. And then when Biden became president, I just saw like a lot of issues pop up, and I started complaining about things, and I realized like I don't want to just complain about the way things are. I want to do something to change them.
Well, bravo to you.
Complaining's not going to get you anywhere. And then I was opened up to the opportunity to help start a Turning Point club, and I wasn't fully aware of like what Turning Point was before then, but I was like, I've been wanting to do something. I've been feeling led to do something. Like, could this be it? And so,
very good. Ben, what about you? What sort of inspired you to even be interested in this?
Well, so I watched Charlie Kirk for a long time.
Oh.
And just through watching him, it really helped me shape my worldview on politics currently or past politics, and to help with a movement, or like be in a movement where we can all have free speech and continue fighting for that free speech.
Well, I'm impressed here. I know our viewers certainly will be. So let me ask you, and I'll start with Sophia. So you're in college. When you started college, you might have had sort of a goal of, I want to be something, and you had a career in mind. I don't know what that career was. Maybe you'd like to tell us, but your involvement with a conservative youth group changed where you want to go in your life?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of had a bunch of different career paths. I was thinking I wanted to do mechanical engineering. That was my thing.
That's pretty lofty.
Yeah.
Good for you.
And then I ended up pivoting into doing something in like the logistics area with motorsport, which I love. And being a part of Turning Point, it didn't necessarily change my career path, but it definitely inspired me to surround myself with successful people. And that's the most important part for me, because the better people you surround yourself with, the better you're going to be and the better your values will be.
I'm going to ask Abby and Ben the same thing. What do you, you're still young and looking at what you want to be when you grow up. Is Turning Point helping you to sort of craft a career path, or do you think it's not changed where you want to go in life?
Well, when I was in 9th grade, I took an economics course for half a semester, and I loved that. And so then that kind of started getting me thinking, like, what if I went into like economics or something? But I've been told that politics is a very muddied, not muddy. For people who hold my kind of views, it's not really a friendly area. So I have like a ton of different career ideas.
You just haven't.
But since I'm graduating this year, I'm thinking like Turning Point is like continuing with Turning Point is an option.
Oh, okay, okay.
Right?
And Ben, what about you? What kind of, do you have aspirations?
So I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was thinking about taking a gap year just to explore more stuff. But Turning Point, really helped me understand that there's a lot more jobs open that will help me to find a good job.
Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, I'm getting answers that I didn't expect, actually. I'm wowed by you, let me put it that way. And so since I asked this question of our students, let me just ask both of you. Anthony, what did Turning Point, what was your degree in? And does Turning Point sort of fit in, or where is it going for your career goals?
Yeah, absolutely. So Turning Point is a career for me.
Okay.
I plan to be here for the long run.
Okay.
But for me, when I was in school, I got my master's in criminal justice. I'd studied political science. So this realm I was always interested in. Getting to this point, I truly attribute to my faith in God and also my wife for getting me here. But since being in this position, I see the impact that we have, not just with our college students, but Club America, high school, even our community. What we're building out here is so substantial that I want to make it a personal goal to keep growing it, to see that growth where we're not looking at the Northeast as a liberal haven anymore, but rather something where conservatism can grow and be healthy for years to come.
Matt, what about you? What was your degree, and is it kind of fitting into Turning Point, or are you looking at a whole new future ahead of you?
Yeah, no, so I have a degree in business.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, I see myself staying with Turning Point for the long haul. I do have the personal goal of getting a chapter in every single high school out here, and I am determined to do so.
Okay, I'll say it again. I'm impressed, viewers. I hope you are too, because this is pretty phenomenal when I look at these young faces, and also when I think of where I was when I was your ages. So how many of you went to America Fest? And then you all went to America Fest. Was this all of your first time at America Fest, or have you been previous?
This would be my second time.
Second time?
First time.
First time?
First time.
First.
First.
First and
First time.
first. So who wants to explain what America Fest is to our viewers? Because they may not exactly know what America Fest is. I don't care. Who? Draw a card.
I'll take it. So America Fest is the biggest event that the organization does. It's annually held in Phoenix, Arizona. That's where our headquarters are. So we rent out the entire convention center, and we bring some of the biggest speakers in the conservative movement and even in this current administration to come and just promote conservative ideals, have conversations. And we had over 30,000 attendees this year show up. So again, we're not here just to hit goals. We're here to exceed them. We're here to break records. It was one of the most, memorable, high-energy events I've ever been to. And the best way we compare it, at least rep-wise, is that it's like our Super Bowl, or if we can't say it here, our big game. But it's a one-of-a-kind type event. And to have these kids come out here from an area where they may not feel that their voices are heard or they're going to be ostracized for it, to see that your views align with a lot more people, and
yeah.
it's universally accepted.
And it's nationwide.
Yeah.
Sophia, how did you feel about it?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I personally went to Chapter Leader Summit over the summertime, and this probably topped it by 1,000. The energy was amazing, and the best part is really being surrounded by like-minded people. Like Anthony was just saying, in the Northeast, a lot of times you feel like you have to, kind of hide what you believe in and melt in with the crowd. And this was the first time where I could have open conversations with everybody and tell them how I feel, and we could celebrate America together.
Matt?
Yeah, like I said, it was my first time, but I was honestly truly impressed, especially by the youth that was there.
Yeah.
Okay. They really brought the energy. They were all very engaged between breakout sessions, general session, and I must say, it was a beautiful thing to really, really see, because you don't get to see that often. Thousands of our youth in one area, having that open civil dialogue, smiling ear to ear. It was honestly incredible for me to witness.
Especially when you think of young people as sometimes being moody and kind of glum, like things aren't going their way. Abigail, how did you feel about it?
It was huge. There was just so much going on. Right when you walk into the convention center, you realize, like, this is big. Well, when you're standing in line to get into the convention center, it was a constant between some mornings you'd have in the mornings you'd have the breakout sessions, and then there'd be speakers like pretty much nonstop throughout the day, starting at like 4 o'clock, I think. And then you have the exhibit hall, and there's like there was tons of vendors and like amazing new groups that you can learn up for their emails and stuff. So I was back and forth all the time.
Ben, how did you find it?
It was very enthusiastic, and I could tell from even the outside waiting lines, like you said, I knew it was going to be big.
Yeah.
But the breakout sessions were phenomenal. I learned a lot of new stuff. And like one of the breakout sessions specifically was for like to vote, like to make sure the young know to vote.
I want to quick around the table. Just what was your favorite moment? Who was your favorite speaker? What was a highlight for you?
A highlight for me was probably Faith Night. Hearing Bryce Crawford speak, that was amazing. And yeah.
Abigail.
I enjoyed listening to Nick Freitas, and they had a high school student experience, and we watched the David movie. It was epic.
Matt.
Yeah, I think Erica was absolutely phenomenal. This was obviously her first time doing this.
Right.
And I think she just did a remarkable job across the board, and controlling the room, getting people excited when it was needed. Overall, I just think she did a phenomenal job.
I had a couple things. Tom Holman, absolutely love him. His entry was amazing. If you look it up online, it was super cool. And then my other favorite thing that wasn't a speaker was just being around feminine women that were dressed nice, they looked nice. Like going to a university, you don't always see that.
No pajama pants and slippers.
Right, no pajama pants. The women were dressed so nice. It was just great to be around that.
Yeah. And Anthony.
I would definitely touch on this again. I heard the word enthusiastic. That and just the energy we had in that building was something I'd never felt the year prior. This was also an event where we were remembering Charlie and the legacy he built, and that to show all the attendees, this isn't going away. What he built isn't gone, and that there's now 1 million more Charlie Kirks. So to see them all together and the speakers to motivate them, it was astounding.
And it's interesting, so you're probably the only one here that actually attended Charlie Kirk's memorial service. I mean, granted, totally different issues, but only 4 months apart, 3 months apart. What was did you find the sentiment different from the service? Obviously, even America Fest brought a sense of solemnity, horror of what had happened that day. But how could you explain the difference in 4 months?
Yeah, and I would say, you know, at the ceremony that was held in Arizona at the Cardinals Stadium, the energy there, you can't compare to AmFest because everyone was in the same state of mourning and grieving together. But there was also a component that I don't know if everyone comprehended. You are in an NFL football stadium right now listening to politicians claim their faith. It wasn't a political rally. It was us coming together to proclaim the name of the Lord.
Yeah.
And to remember what Charlie stood for most of all. So that was such a unique experience in and of itself. But AmFest was a culmination of everything that happened during the fall. Now we're together and we're ready for what's next. And I think Erica's done a phenomenal job. I'll, you know, follow up with Matt here on that. With taking the helm and saying we're not going anywhere, we're going to come back, we're going to double down. You're not going to dissuade us from building these groups around the country.
That's quite emotional for me to hear from all of you, even at a young age, that you found this very powerful and moving experience in not just a fun way with young people and music and things like that, but from a real substantial aspect of speeches, prayer sessions, group sessions, where you really got much out of it from different people. It tells you were engaged and you were listening, not just like on your phones thinking of other things. And now I just want to kind of take this to a totally different level, because in our last 10 minutes, we in Fitchburg are coming upon a total divergence of thought. You are so unified and you have such a high level of energy and commitment, not just to politics or to Turning Point or Club America, but to some bigger and deeper ideals of a conservative nature and of a faith-based nature and who you are as human beings, not just you know, well, I'm a student or I go to school or whatever, but as who you really are and your direction. Here in Fitchburg, most recently, we had a Turning Point event where you were all going to be, so that viewers, you could actually go meet these young people in person, talk to them, ask them about their experiences, hear them talk about it, and we had to have it shut down because of the protest, of the violent protest that was going to befall the event. And that the event was going to be on Sunday, February 1st in Westminster. We weren't in Boston, we were in a small town, America, Westminster. And we had to shut it down because of the hue and cry of angry people. Do you suspect that some of this anger from the left, from the progressives, is because they are afraid of what they've seen happening? Do you think it's like, if you weren't going anywhere, if you were still staying at 64 chapters, if you were still staying at 2 chapters, maybe we could have held the event on the 1st of February? What is your feeling about the anger and the protest? Not just I'm mad at them, or I never liked Charlie anyway. This is over. They want to hurt us. And you know, events, riots and things like this can get so, it all sounds out peaceful, but it can turn so quickly on a dime. I'd like your opinions of it. And I will start with you, Anthony, because you have the longest experience.
Yeah, so speaking in my own personal capacity here, behold the tolerant left. These are a group of individuals who would rather hide behind a keyboard than come listen and learn what we are about as an organization. As I do on every college campus, Sophia can attest to this, we're here to remove the polarization that we have politically, so you would think the adults in the room would want to do that as well. Because we're too divided right now. You're either on side A or you're on side B. We need to remove that, find commonalities. For them to call us a hate group, transphobic, homophobic, you know none of us. You don't know the mission of Turning Point USA. You don't know the legacy that Charlie left here and what we're continuing to build. So I really advocate for them to show up to the next event and listen. Ask their questions. You know, these are the people I pray for, that they can find a way and understand.
Sophia, what's your feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I have definitely gone through it myself. I do a lot of social media and influencing stuff, and people found out that I was involved in Turning Point, and it's nothing that I'm shy about. I go to all of our tablings, I go to all of our meetings, and I'm very open about what I believe in and why I believe it. And instead of people coming and having these open conversations, they're just rude, you know, and it's all anonymous. There's a platform called Yik Yak, and it's like an anonymous Twitter platform, and students can go on and say whatever they like, and that's totally fine, but when it turns into threats, that's when it starts getting a little scary for all of our members in our group. You know, thankfully enough, the police department at the university has been very responsive, and they're very helpful, but we have seen it in our departments, you know, trying to get meeting tables. We are constantly having pushback. And with all the rioting, I mean, you can protest, but be peaceful, you know?
Matt.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely seeing it firsthand with a lot of my high school chapters. They are facing harassment both online and in person, and I'm sure this won't shock anybody, but it's adults that are doing this as well, which is honestly the most disappointing part of it. Okay, these are children, okay? And for you as an adult to be that angry towards them and show intimidation to them is, again, very, very disappointing. And I think that we need to get into a point in our society where we stop thinking about being on one side or the other. If we don't agree on an idea, let's sit down and talk about it. And
Abigail, I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
Abigail, what do you think about the protest? Quickly, because we're...
I mean, we just had Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and I was talking with my mom about it, and she's like, we don't even know the meaning of protest anymore. It's like,
violence.
Yeah, I think that, as the word says, darkness doesn't like the light, and when light exposes the darkness, I think Turning Point is shining a light into the darkness of the ideology that's trying to take over America. And the dark, people living in the dark don't like that, and I think that's why they're pushing back.
Ben, wrap it up.
Okay, so I think they are just scared of how much we've grown and how much further we're going to grow.
Thank you. This is phenomenal, just to listen to you all. And I'd like to tell our viewers that some of these same protesters are the ones that stand outside City Hall in Fitchburg on Saturday mornings and stand in all the town greens on Saturday mornings or Sunday afternoons. So these are not anonymous people. They are our neighbors. Granted, some of the stuff we see on Facebook pages is anonymous, but these are our neighbors, and they know us, and so they know what they're shutting down. Thank you, panel, so much. I've been thrilled having you with us, and I know our viewers will also. And for our viewers, we thank you for watching Your Right to Know and sitting in here tonight with the Central Massachusetts Conservative PAC. As we leave you, we want you to know that your local or city or town organizations that stand for conservative values, that stand maybe even for religion, get involved. Don't be a sideline. Look at these young people. They're all getting involved, and they talked about it. And to me, it is so refreshing to see they have energy and purpose. So have purpose yourselves. We believe in our conservative values. We believe in the Constitution, and we encourage you to go out and make a difference in America. And remember, we always stand for freedom. Thank you and good night.
People reaching goals that help us thrive.